Hey, how's it going, everybody? Just wanted to do another video here on the Things That Move Me YouTube channel. The small little game here called Iota. I'm actually going to zoom in. See, it comes in a very, very small tin. It says Iota, the great big game, the teeny weeny tin, which is awesome. Played this game a while back when I visited a couple of my friends that are like playing board games and things like that. And it's a pretty simple game. Like you can see here, it comes in a small little tin. The only thing that comes in there are these, if you can read that, 66 cards, and then the rules. It says it takes about 30 minutes, but it really depends on, how many people are playing, because it's 2 to 4 players, and it also depends on how long it takes people to make up their mind. So this is one of those games that does require keeping score. So you want to keep a pad of paper and a pen or pencil handy, because you are going to be doing a little bit of math, adding up what you're doing there. So I'm just going to pretend like there's 2 of us here. So you deal 4 cards, so everybody starts with 4 cards, and you're actually never going to have more than 4 cards in your hand, which is cool. So start like that, and just for the sake of the game, we're just going to start with this piece here. And you're going to notice that the cards have these kind of symbols on them. So in the middle, you're going to see this one has a circle. There's going to be a square. There's going to be a triangle. And then there's going to be kind of like a plus symbol. And those are the 4 symbols. Okay. And then you're also going to see a number. So you'll see the numbers 1 through 4. There's 4 variations of that. And in addition to that, there's going to be 4 colors, which are these colors here. So I guess this is, I call it yellow, but I guess it's a little bit more of an orange. So you see orange, red, blue, and green. And basically, you're going to look at your hand when it's your turn. Let me just try to grab the cards there. So these are the cards that you have in your hand. So the rules are that you can play a card adjacent to that card there, as long as there is some sort of pattern. So it can either have either the shape or the color or the number in common, or everything different. So when you start out something like that, let's see, you have 3, 2, 2, and 4. Oh, mind you, you can play up to all of your cards. If they all work, you can play them all. And once you finish your play, that's when you add up your points. So in this situation here, let's see, this would probably be a good move right here. So actually, maybe not, but you could do the 2 is a square, the 3 is a circle. All right, maybe that's not the best move there. I don't know why I thought this one was also a 2. So that's probably not going to work, because that's only 5 points, because you're actually going to add up what you have there. So let me grab this one here, and actually this should work over here, because it's 4, 3, 2. And so in this one, what I'm working on, the pattern here, the rule that I formed here, is that I'm doing 4, 3, 2. So now I need to find a 1 somewhere to complete that line. So every completed row is actually 4. And the other thing is, you don't have to put these in order. I mean, I could have put the 2 here and the 4 there, vice versa. When you lay down cards, you can only put them in a horizontal or vertical. You can't, start adding stuff on the side in the same turn. So for this gameplay right here, that'd be 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 2 is 9. So I'd score myself 9 points. These are the two cards that I still have. And then from the pile, when my turn's done, I'm going to give myself 2 more cards. So at the end of your turn, you're always going to go back up to your 4 cards. Alright, so now I'm going to grab this guy's cards here, and let's see what we have. We have a couple 4s and a couple 2s. So we're not going to be able to finish this sequence, but that's okay, because you're just going to keep building it. Now, when I add to it, kind of like dominoes, actually more so than dominoes, I can go this way, on the 4s. I can go this way on the 3s, this way on the 2s. So I have a lot of freedom to explore, but you have to remember that you can only build in the direction that you're already started. So if I put something here, I'd have to keep going this way or this way. And same thing here. So that's kind of how you start noticing that you have limited options, but that's okay. So let's see what I have here. So I have a bunch of 4s, and the 4 over there, oh, this is perfect. So this is what I would do. I'd probably put the 4 there, and then put this guy here, just to keep that moving. And in this case, all of these are 4s, but I have a circle, triangle, and a square. So if I had a plus symbol green one, that would be what would finish this row. So I score this one now. So I score 4, 4 and 4, so that's 12 points. So I'm a little bit ahead from the first guy. And now you're going to go to the second one. So now you're starting to see that, what's it called? There's 2 things that you can finish there. So now it gets a little trickier. So let's see, what is going to give you the most points? And that's why you always want to be conscious and aware of the value of each card. Sometimes you'll end up doing like a row of 1s, and it's great to finish, but it doesn't give you that many points. So that's the other thing. When you finish a sequence of 4, you add up everything, and you actually multiply it by 2. So every time you can finish a set, you multiply it by 2. You will find in some situations that depending on what cards you put adjacent to the other cards that are going, that you'll actually end up blocking yourself. So this is one of those games that you want everybody monitoring what's on the board. It's very easy to play a card that seems like it should work there, but it actually doesn't. So it's always good to have people that are really paying attention. That's fine. Okay, so here we have 3, 3, 2, and a 1. So let's see. We already have a 3 here. And let's see. 3. So this is something that you could do here if you wanted to. Yeah, so you could do this here, okay? So it follows this rule. You created a rule. Once you put the second card down in one sequence, you're creating a rule on what you can or can't play. So these are both 3s. That's the only thing they have in common, because you have a plus and the 2 different colors or the 2 different shapes. So this row is going to continue being 3s, but you also made a rule going this way. So this is a 3 and this is a 4. So now you're looking for a 2 and a 1 in a different shape and a different color. So this is where you would play this card here. And remember, you're still playing in the same row. Now with this one, you would score this, so that's 6 points, but you would also score this. So you have 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 6, so that would be 15. Not a bad way to go, and you're also limiting the options for the other player. So you grab your 2 more cards, and that's it for that turn. Alright, so now this guy has these cards here. Options are starting to get a little bit tricky, because you can see you need, right now in this row, you need a 1 green triangle, it looks like. This one, you need a 1 triangle square somewhere. You can put it on either side. This one, you need another 4 plus sign green. That's the only thing missing. But you can play off any edges if you want, you know, if it makes it easier. So let's see, what do we have here? We have some triangles. We have another triangle and a circle. Let's see, what do we have? Obviously, you're also trying to accumulate points. So sometimes you might have like a quick, here you go. But if it doesn't get you a lot of points and it's going to limit you for later in the game, you might not want to play that. So I'm seeing something here. It's not going to score a ton of points, but you know, could be an option to keep it going. So you could play that there, because that's another 2, and this is another 2. So it's only 6 points. It's nothing too great, but that would be a nice quick 6 points, and then you'd be able to draw 2 more cards. Now you'll see that this 2 over here, I could have actually played these 2 cards over here as well, but it would have to be in this direction because this section here is actually blocked. Because to complete this set here, this piece would actually have to be green. So if I put all my 2s here, actually, and it can't be a 2 either, it'd have to be a 1. So this would technically be blocked if I played all of these 2s over here. So I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but you just have to remember whatever you already have on the table, you have a rule and you have to complete it. So in this case, what I played is probably the best play given everything that I had. I didn't really have anything with a lot of value in these cards here. And basically you just keep playing and playing. There are some wild cards in here. I'm just going to flip these cards over and see if I can find a wild for you. Let's see. And the wild is a little bit kind of like an Uno, I guess. You just place it down as a wild. Here we go. Here's one. So these are very powerful to have. You want to be very strategic of when you use it. But like, let's say it's my turn. I could probably put that there, and that would finish the set, and I'd be able to, you know, double my points. The really cool thing about this is that, let's say later in the game, whoever actually has the piece that fits there can put their piece there and then take this back for themselves, and then they can use it later. So that's also a good strategy, is always be mindful of what's on the board, always be mindful of, you know, where these are, and if you do happen to have that piece, replace it, because then you can use that later in the game, because much later in the game all your options start to shrink. The good options, I guess, will shrink. Usually the board is massive and you can actually play maybe in 2-3 different areas, but there's one spot that's going to get you a lot of points, there's one spot that's going to get you just a couple points, and you really want to make all of your moves like work, you know. One other thing, so let's say that you were able to complete this spot here, and let's say what you put down completed this and it completed this, you would actually get to double this area and double this area. So you'll see that the biggest goal here obviously is to get points, but you want to complete these sets. That's the most powerful thing that you can do, and it'll consistently get you over, I would say easily over, let's see, 14-15 points if you can do that. I would say the minimum you can get is, let's say if you have 4 1s in a row, that's 4, and then times 2 is 8, so 8 is the minimum. And then let's say you had all 4s, so 4 times 4 is 16, times 2, you're looking at 32 is the max you can do on just one set. So you can see that there's a big range of points, and then obviously if you just put one little guy there, you're just going to get that. It's not going to help anybody. The shorter the rows that you have, the less options you're basically going to have later on. So you want to have the board stretching like this, and, you know, stretching out in all sorts of directions. It's going to give you a lot more options. So the people that are a little bit better at this game and can anticipate, you know, what's on the table better, are going to be able to spread out the game a lot more and give you a lot of options. So so basically you just keep playing, you know, and then you play until all of the cards are used up. There is one other rule that I want to go over as well. So let's say I have these 4 cards here, and I decide, you know what, none of these are going to help me. You can replace up to 4 of them on your turn. So you can't play the replaced cards on that turn. It's either you play them or you can swap these out. So I can just say, hey, you know what, I'm getting rid of those 4. Oops. Give me 4 more, right? So you can do that. You can do up to 4. Sometimes maybe you have 2 1s that you've been sitting on forever, and you're not going to get a lot of points with that. So you can replace them with the deck, 2 from the deck. or whatever it is. So there is a lot of strategy here. It can get very confusing when you're looking at everything, because you're like, oh, you know what? I could put a green one here, and by accident you place a 3. So it is one of those that you really have to keep an eye on everything that's going on. And there are going to be situations where maybe you end up blocking. So let's say I do this, right? So now this row has to be all 2s. This is blocked. So it's something for you to, you kind of have to remember, okay, this is blocked. So when I'm looking to play a piece, I'm going to have to go someplace else because I can't play a blue here. There's already a blue in this row. So it sounds a little harder maybe than it actually is, but it does make you think. And I don't know, I mean, I love it. It's a small game. If you don't mind doing a little bit of math, I think it's, you know, requires a little bit of dexterity, a little bit of planning ahead, and, you know, being strategic on where you play stuff. But it fits in a little container like this, which is awesome. So you can play this on almost any table. You can carry this pretty much anywhere. It's tiny, but it's a really fun game, well thought out. I think there used to be a game that was very similar. I don't recall the name of that, but this is a modern version with a couple enhancements. But all in all, this is a fantastic game, very easy to play. I don't know, check it out. Iota.